I'm Rose Ferraby, an artist and archaeologist based in North Yorkshire. My work primarily explores people's relationship with the landscape, be that past landscapes of archaeology and geology, but also how my creative practice can be used to imaginatively explore the often invisible landscapes of the subsurface. This is the second book which I've worked on with Guillemot. The first was Melanie Challenger's The Tender Map, and that really introduced me to the joy of working with poetry collections. Poems themselves are already such visual beings. They're fluid and changeable, and therefore working on illustrations isn't a matter of creating an image to go next to a poem. It's a matter of thinking about a narrative flow that goes through the whole book and creating a mood and a pace and an atmosphere which melds together with the text. I was really pleased to be asked to be involved with Susie's new collection, Tenter. On first reading it, I was really struck by the humility with which she approaches the history of the earth, and the way in which, as reading the poems, you feel that you're starting at the surface and following these little threads down into deep, bubbling, rich ground of memories. And as I read them, I was very struck by the idea of this imagery of tapestries, but also I was reflecting on lots of the objects that I work with as an archaeologist, which have this patina of age, whereby certain parts of it are blurred and indistinct, and other little fragments are clear, and from those little fragments we have to create stories and piece them together into narrative flows. So to create the imagery for this book, I took this idea of the weaving and the threads and the stitching, which is often alluded to in Susie's language, and I decided to approach it with monoprinting, using black ink to really accentuate this idea of texture. And with the ink and the roller, I used different textures. So I went and raided the local charity shop and different boxes at home and found pieces of net curtain and lace and much less sightly tangerine packaging, which offers this wonderfully gauzy, plasticky, interlocked open weave here. And then experimented with how the material could be either used onto the paper or as a trace on the roller, creating ghostings, repetitions, the idea that the roller slowly ran out of ink and things faded or came back into focus.